Alright, internet, congrats, you win. I'm making the Mass Effect video. I've received comments on all of my videos. I've seen the community posts. People are asking me, where is the video on the brand new Mass Effect game? Matty, you're the guy who talked about a Mass Effect remaster and pure rumors for months and months and months. You're telling me you're not going to talk about the brand new game? Well, I didn't want to put a pin in anyone's balloon. Plus, I think now's a good time to take a quick breather from all of the cyberpunk onslaught I've given you. And let's go back to basics and talk about BioWare. If you're new here, a lot of you are, I talk about all kinds of RPGs. It's not just Cyberpunk, it's BioWare, it's Bethesda, it's AA RPGs. We love RPGs in general here. So today we're talking about a really significant announcement that happened at the Game Awards, and that is a brand new Mass Effect game. Now, this really isn't new news, and I felt like I was going insane, and so I don't want to be overly negative. Do know, at the end of this video, I'm going to highlight some things that have me quite excited for the new Mass Effect game, but for now, it's pure discussion at the front of the video. Like I said, I thought I was going crazy. I had to search it up and make sure the new Mass Effect game was revealed alongside the Legendary Edition, right? When the remaster was announced, there was also a confirmation that a new chapter in Mass Effect was coming and the series was off ice. I was correct. I went back to the BioWare blog post and they said, meanwhile, here at BioWare, a veteran team has been hard at work on envisioning the next chapter of the Mass Effect universe. We are in the early stages of the project and can't say any more just yet, but we're looking forward to sharing our vision for where we'll be going next. And I thought, that's enough. If it's that early, words on paper is fine. But BioWare has this weird habit, and I referenced this in a video earlier this year with Dragon Age 4, of revealing games stupidly early in their development cycle. Some may try to throw it back at me. Matty, you didn't care when they went Fallout 76, and then Starfield, and then Elder Scrolls 6. Why is it okay BGS gets a roadmap, but BioWare doesn't? Point being is BioWare's in a very, very, very sticky situation where I want them just to shut up, take their time, go make their game, stop getting fan expectations thrown onto them, because we just saw what happened with Cyberpunk. Years of build-up really is oftentimes damaging for games. But more so with BioWare, a company that's sort of trying to find their identity again, they just need to go back to basics and focus on the game. Go quiet for a while. But furthermore, as a longtime die-hard BioWare fan, I want to see the game when it's the game, not the prototype of the game, not a concept of the game, not the idea of the game, because we've seen BioWare can't handle these long development cycles. Andromeda was in development for a stupid long time and then made in 18 months. Anthem was in development for many, many years, and it was also made in a short number of months. So these games that are announced now, I can't even believe that they're going to be the same idea when we actually maybe even get our hands on them. Furthermore, this announcement to me more felt like trying to settle down the fan base. A lot of the conversation around BioWare quickly shifted to Casey Hudson and Mark Dara. Both of them were kind of the heart and soul of the respective franchises, Dragon Age and Mass Effect, both saying see you later and leaving. So a lot of conversation was what's happening at BioWare, what's happening internally, why the big change, why is everyone leaving? They've had a lot of notable exits over the last number of years. And then we see this trailer come out and people are excited about it again. And I just felt like I looked right through it and went, number one, we already knew about this. Number two, it's too early. And number three, I feel like it's just trying to be a distraction. Don't get me wrong, there's stuff to be excited about. I'm not trying to put a pin in anyone's balloon here, but for me, there was more reasons for concern and confusion than pure excitement as someone who is a huge Mass Effect fan. So honestly, that's why I held off on this video for so long. I knew so many people were excited, and I knew my opinion just was in a minority, it feels like, because there wasn't more information to go off of outside of some teasers within the trailer itself. And we know we're not seeing this game for probably like 4 or 5 years, I would imagine. I feel like it's more likely we're going to see Dragon Age 4 first. That seems further along. We saw it at least in some form of gameplay, very lightly, just very brief concept gameplay. We saw a more extensive lore-driven trailer, so there is more there. And by the way, shout out to my buddy Jackdaw. If you're looking for really positive, exciting, informative BioWare content, he's a huge Dragon Age fan. I want to point you all in the direction of his channel real quick here. If you think this video is a little too negative for your taste, I get it, and you're looking for a little more BioWare hype, that is a perfect place to go. He does not have nearly enough exposure, so quick shout out to him. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's kind of generally my thoughts on the announcement of a new Mass Effect game as it is. However, there is the whole other part that I wanted to talk about, which is, okay, the trailer's out. I mean, I'm not going to go ahead and fight you because it exists. Let's look at it, see what's in there, and see what maybe we can hope to expect, provided the actual vision stays true throughout numerous years of development. Now, I did some studying on it. I watched some analysis videos online because I had time to consume all the content like all of you out there. But I want to shout out my buddy Shinobi602, friend of the show. He's been on the Ham Radio podcast before. He had a wonderful thread on Twitter, really deeply analyzing every bit of the trailer. And funny enough, BioWare, he's friends with a lot of folks over there, went out of their way to confirm that some things that he speculated about were incorrect, but it's led to my own bit of speculation from there. So some of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about within the trailer, I did get directly from his analysis. So I just want to go ahead, call him out, shout him out, great guy. And now let's take a look at this trailer. The first shot we see is going to be the two galaxies, the Milky Way and Andromeda. So the Andromeda galaxy is back. This should not surprise anyone, but at the same time, I know it's equally disappointing. For me, when I played Andromeda 3 years ago, I don't know how else to put it other than nothing stood out to me that I really liked about this game's world. I don't know how else to describe it. The whole universe, nothing called out to me and went, wow, this feels different. It was just bigger and more to explore, which I did enjoy. But the content there wasn't enough for me to attach myself to anything with Andromeda. So you figure that somehow they're going to bridge the two, and maybe that'll make for a better game because you'll be supported by a lot of Shepard story and everything that's sort of been laid down in the Milky Way. And I'm imagining they're going to try to bridge these two. That would be my guess. But when I saw the Andromeda Galaxy, I was like, okay, so they're going to make sure this continues to exist. This is interesting because, as I've covered before in the past, BioWare just dropped Mass Effect Andromeda like a hot potato. They were like, yep, we're good. No more post-launch support. We patched the game. It works. See you later. At one point in the trailer, we see a busted Mass Effect relay. We hear the cry of a Reaper. And all this is seemingly referencing a post-war Reaper situation where all the mass relays are gone and the connections between parts of civilization have been completely removed, and so the Milky Way is in a much more different situation than they once were. Shinobi also directly calls out that there is a part that is purposefully distorted because there's multiple audio logs throughout this trailer that seem to document a path of human history, and then they start to diverge into the Mass Effect timeline. And so one part is really distorted, and he's called out that this is something that's interesting because they do mention that it's like humanity's last hope. So what we're seeing here is a post-Mass Effect 3 storyline, because eventually we do see the N7 logo of potentially a faceplate. We see, I think, some downed Reapers underneath a lot of snow. And then we see Liara. Liara is in the game, and that was probably the best part of the trailer for me, is seeing her and going, wow, a familiar face, I'll be damned. The whole trailer, I was watching it. If you caught my live reactions, I was thinking the whole time, this might be Starfield. This is kind of crazy. They're actually going to do Starfield at the Game Awards. That would have been a complete left hook for me. Like, whoa, where did that even come from? But it ended up being Mass Effect, and I found out when it was Liara. Some people found out a little bit earlier. One notable thing is Liara is clearly older. Liara being older means that she's entered her potential matriarch stage, and that takes hundreds of years according to the Mass Effect lore. So what this tells us is this is not directly after Mass Effect 3's storyline. It takes place after it, but not right after the finale of the game. Of course, we do see some of the crew for this gang, which is a Solarian, a Krogan, and some think it might be another human, something along those lines. But point being is it's post-Mass Effect 3, we're back in the Milky Way. That's enough for me. That's enough for me. And that explains why Mass Effect Legendary Edition even exists, because BioWare has so many games, KOTOR, that they could be bringing back right now, not putting on mobile devices, but maybe the Switch and as well as the PlayStation, but for some reason they're not. That's fine, that's whatever. But point being is that now the Mass Effect Legendary Edition randomly existing makes a lot more sense. Connect people with what I think is going to be the majority of this storyline. And I think it could be, of course, connecting it back to Andromeda with that delayed 6th arc, which never got its DLC. How are they going to bring that to life? Or it's just reconnecting the Milky Way in a manner of speaking. I'm very curious to see where they go with this. They have my attention, as BioWare always does, no matter what I say, in the sense of, like, I'm very critical of them. I still always do pay attention to what they have to do because they own some of my favorite franchises of all time. Dragon Age, Mass Effect, KOTOR. I mean, they're in them all, man. So they gotta have my attention. But I apologize if this was more of a negative perspective. It's just a thought that I felt compelled to share, but I also wanted to give it time to breathe. I wanted to see if there was more to it. I wanted to see what other fans thought, and I definitely think I'm a bit of an outlier here, but I think it's important I share what I think is needed criticism of the process of reveals for Mass Effect and BioWare, because I feel like this would be 10 times more hype if it was like, you know, the Legendary Edition, where granted that was many months of speculation, but when it was officially announced for most people, it was that moment of, okay, this is coming in a number of months, not in this case where it's a number of years. And who knows what happens after Dragon Age 4, right? That could be a complete disaster. We haven't been able to trust BioWare yet on that front. I mean, it is a long, long ways away, right? So time will tell, ladies and gentlemen. What's good is that we know for the next 2 games, BioWare's going back to basics with Dragon Age, Mass Effect, and you gotta wonder if they're gonna try a new IP as an RPG, mind you. I know Anthem was a new IP, but like an actual RPG new IP. We wonder all the time if that's something that'll happen. Maybe it eventually does if these 2 games are successes. We'll see in due time. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I leave it in your hands. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. Big thank you to each and every one of you patrons, members out there, pushing us forward here, allowing more diverse content to happen comfortably without worrying about YouTube's stupid algorithm. Appreciate you all. And with that, I'll talk to you soon. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.